The city breathes a rhythm of sirens and secrets. Every corner holds a story, every shadow a choice. This ain't no fairy tale. This is the grind, the fight to survive when the streets demand a piece of your soul. I was 10 the first time I counted money that wasn't mine. The crisp 20s felt alien yet strangely familiar. Dre, my cousin, half-uncle, full-time problem, had me stacking them on a cereal box. It was a twisted math lesson, a dark initiation. "If you can count it," he'd grunt, smoke curling from his lips, "you can keep it safe." He meant his safe. I was just the keeper. Our row home was a thin skin against the world. You could hear the neighbors' arguments, their hopes, their despair, through the flimsy walls. The porch sagged like an old man's shoulders. Some days, the water ran brown from the tap, a grim reminder of what we lacked. My mother drifted in and out, a ghost in her own life, like bad weather you just endured. Grandma, though, she was the anchor, a gnarled oak in a concrete storm. She held the place together with sheer will and prayers. When the red notice came, threatening to cut the lights, Dre always appeared. He'd peel off a wad of cash, the kind that smelled of stale cigarettes and desperation. I didn't ask where it came from. I didn't need to. The silence was louder than any explanation. It was the price of keeping the darkness at bay, a debt I was unknowingly inheriting. The summer I turned 13, Dre handed me a flip phone. It felt heavy, a brick of responsibility. "If it rings," he said, his eyes cold and direct, "you walk to Cedar and 12th. Give the guy what's in your sock. Don't look back." My stomach churned, a mix of fear and a strange, dangerous thrill. This was it, the real game. I met Ty there, 2 years older, dangerous in a friendly way. He moved with a coiled energy, a predator's grace. His smile didn't reach his eyes. On slow nights waiting for the next drop, he taught me to watch reflections in windows. "People lie," he'd say, his voice a low rasp. "Glass tells the truth. It shows you what's really there, behind the mask." It was a lesson I'd carry, a bitter truth learned on the unforgiving asphalt. School was something I attended like paying a fine, a mandatory inconvenience. I was good at numbers, the kind that added up to survival, but bad at caring about anything else. The textbooks felt irrelevant, the lessons a distant hum. Luis was my only real friend, a beacon of loud laughter and impossible dreams. We'd talk for hours, sketching out futures that felt light years away. Driving south with $20, owning a barber shop, anything to escape the suffocating grip of the block. I told him I just wanted the lights to stay on. That was my dream. The second time I held a gun, my hand didn't shake. It was a cold, heavy weight, a promise of violence. Dre slid it across the table, the metal glinting under the dim kitchen light. "For insurance," he muttered, his eyes avoiding mine. I told myself I'd never use it. But the truth was, I didn't know. The line between self-preservation and destruction was blurring, a dangerous fog settling in my mind. At 17, Grandma's cough worsened. It was a dry, hacking sound that tore at my gut. The medical bills piled up, a mountain of paper threatening to bury us. Ty, sensing my desperation, started talking bigger numbers, bigger risks. "We can move up," he'd whisper, his words a siren song of easy money. The betrayal felt like opportunity, a desperate gamble for Grandma's life. I swallowed my doubts, the bitter taste of desperation. Ty had me make a drop at a laundromat. It was supposed to be smooth in, smooth out, a routine exchange, a quick score. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat. I walked in, trying to look casual, trying to blend in with the hum of the machines. The duffel bag felt light, almost empty. I made the exchange, a quick nod, a fleeting glance. I turned to leave, the taste of freedom on my tongue. Then the blue lights hit. They flashed, stark and unforgiving, through the laundromat window. My blood ran cold. I froze. a deer in headlights. Ty, ever the survivor, bolted. He was gone in a flash, a blur of motion. The duffel bag, now heavy with its contents, hit the ground with a sickening thud. They cuffed me before I could even breathe, before I could process the betrayal. The cold steel bit into my wrists, a brutal awakening. County smelled like bleach and lost time. Every day was a blur of fluorescent lights and stale air. Dre didn't visit. Ty didn't call. The silence was deafening, a stark reminder of my expendability. Luis pressed his palm to the glass during visitation, his face etched with worry. "Keep your head," he urged, his voice thick with emotion. "Don't let this place break you." The public defender, a tired woman with weary eyes, told me the bag had detergent. Someone had switched my drop. I knew it was Ty. The realization hit me like a physical blow. He'd set me up, sacrificed me without a second thought. I pled to nothing, got probation. The judge, a stern, unyielding figure, looked down at me. "Don't get old in front of me, son," she warned, her voice a gravelly whisper. It was a chilling prophecy. I tried to stay clean. A warehouse job, clock in, clock out. The monotony was a different kind of prison, but it was honest. Every day was a battle against the pull of the streets, the easy money, the familiar darkness. I was trying to build something, anything, that wasn't tainted. Then Luis was shot, riding with the wrong person, in the wrong place, at the wrong time. The news hit me like a physical blow, knocking the wind out of me. My only real friend, gone. At the funeral, Ty had the audacity to show his face. He approached me, his eyes devoid of remorse. "Life comes fast," he said, a casual shrug. I wanted to break his face, to feel the crunch of bone beneath my fist. The rage was a burning inferno consuming me. Grief makes you stupid. It makes you reckless. I started skating curfew, pushing the boundaries, flirting with the edge. The darkness was a familiar comfort, a dangerous embrace. I almost slipped back in, almost gave up. But one rainy night, a cop pulled me over. He found nothing in my trunk, just empty space. He looked at me, his eyes unreadable, then let me go. It was a random act of grace, a flicker of light in the encroaching darkness. That's when I walked into Ray's boxing gym. Ray was an old-school trainer, a man carved from granite and wisdom. He taught me footwork, the intricate dance of evasion and attack. He taught me patience, the art of waiting for the right moment. "A ring is where you can't lie about who you are," he'd say, his voice gruff but kind. "Every punch, every dodge, it's all truth." The gym became my sanctuary, a place where the only fight was against myself. Grandma's health failed. Her breath grew shallow, her strength faded. She held my hand, her grip surprisingly strong. "You ain't your beginning," she whispered, her eyes clear and full of love. "You're what you choose to be." She died on a Tuesday, the silence in the house deafening. Dre gave me an envelope thick with cash. "This is clean," he said, his voice uncharacteristically soft. "From when it was good, before all this." It was a ghost of a past, a fleeting glimpse of a different life. I broke quiet. No sleep, no appetite. The grief was a heavy shroud, suffocating me. I sat in the gym, watching other kids jump rope, their movements light and hopeful. They believed in tomorrow. Ray found me there, lost in the shadows. "Live fast or live," he said, his voice cutting through the haze. "Practice until you know how." I used the envelope for community college, building systems, learning the difference between a house and a home on paper. It was a slow, arduous climb, but I was building something real, something that wouldn't crumble. Ty started texting again. "Easy money one night, nobody gets hurt. The same old lies, the same old trap." I ignored him. 2 months later, my front door was open. A chill ran down my spine. A card lay on the table, stark against the worn wood. It read, "We should talk. You owe Ty." The past was a hungry beast, always lurking, always demanding its due. I met the man on the card in a coffee shop. He was slick, his eyes cold and calculating. "Ty's in trouble," he said, his voice flat. "When he's in trouble, he invoices his friends." I told him I wasn't a friend. "Then run," he advised, a hint of menace in his tone. That night, Dre called. His voice was tight, strained. "Ty got hit. East Side. He owes the wrong people. You staying out?" My heart pounded. The old life, the old pull. "I'm out," I said, my voice firm. "For good." A long pause. "Good," Dre finally said, a sigh of relief in his voice. "I'm trying to be out too." A flicker of hope, a shared burden. The semester rolled on. I stopped needing to count money that wasn't mine. Mornings started to feel like a place I could live, a fresh start, a clean slate. The weight on my shoulders began to lift. Then the pass called one last time. "Meet me," Ty said, his voice raspy, desperate. "No games." I almost hung up. My finger hovered over the disconnect button. Then I didn't. "Where?" I asked, my voice steady. "Cedar and 12th, where we started." I looked in the window, saw a reflection I could trust. A man who had fought his way out of the darkness. I told Ray where I was going. He looked at me, his eyes knowing. "Take your hands," he said, "not your anger." I walked into the night that made me, the city lights blurring into a familiar haze. I wondered if survive and live are cousins or strangers. Tonight, I'd find out. The streets are unforgiving, but your future isn't written in stone. Like our protagonist, you have the power to choose your path, to fight for a life beyond the shadows. Don't let your past define you. Take control of your narrative. If you're facing tough choices, seeking a way out, or just need a guiding hand, reach out. Find a mentor, join a community program, or explore educational opportunities. Your journey starts now. Share your story, find your strength, and build a future that truly belongs to you.